Nicole Dawes here. Tonight we're going to talk about when self-care became so complicated. I'm actually going to be reading from my book that's called Self-Care from the Trenches with Love, Humor, and a Kick in the Pants. And it's available on Amazon. So, wellness means different things to each caregiver. And being well gives you the ability to be the best caregiver you can be. When you build a foundation for wellness, you're supporting your body, mind, and soul. And when these areas are cared for, you're able to stay healthy and live your best life. As someone who advocates for self-care and wishes that everyone got to experience moments of daily joy, I do find it frustrating to see clickbait headlines slamming self-care and making it seem like a bad thing. My question is whether people are missing the point. I like to call it a red herring when people choose to make fun of self-care, mock the term, and even those who practice it. I like to dive deep. I prefer talking about why people don't like the term self-care, and I invite them to unpack why they don't believe they're worthy of taking time for themselves. And if you've made it this far, I'm assuming you're interested in learning more and have decided to move past the eye rolling and open yourself to taking that first step or additional steps to honor yourself. When people spend energy on focusing on the word, are they in fact hiding from the responsibility of their own well-being? Self-care is how we show ourselves that we love ourselves. Self-love is the feeling, and self-care is the action. The end state is for each person to feel moments of joy and more control in their life. Is that such a bad thing? As you know, I practice self-care daily because this time to reset and remind myself that I am responsible for all of my choices in life. Yes, I'm a caregiver and it's challenging. But being a caregiver is not who I am. I am Nicole. Being a mother to my son and a mother and caregiver to my daughter are the most important roles of my life, and I honor them dearly. Now is the time to build your foundation for wellness. Foundational wellness examines all aspects of your life as a person and not as a caregiver. It includes love, nutrition, learning, physical activities, social time, and more. I understand there are so many reasons why you have not taken the time to focus on yourself up until now. Goodbye excuses, goodbye blame, and goodbye complaining. Now is the time. I give you permission to go where you usually do not allow yourself to go. Daydream, wish, and think of better days. We aren't one-dimensional human beings, so we cannot expect the path to happiness to include only one thing. This chapter is about creating awareness of all the different areas in your life that are important to you. The path to wellness is not one size fits all. The journey is unique and different for each person. If you ask the question, who do I want to be? Then you can figure out where you can make changes in your life to align with how you answered that question. The common thread for everyone is that wellness requires a holistic approach. This is not meant to overwhelm you. Think of these wellness buckets to be your end goal. Let's use a fun example of comparing it to collecting ingredients to bake cookies. In order to make cookies, you need more than one ingredient. The same can be said about your foundation for wellness. It cannot only include one thing. Just like there are different kinds of cookie recipes, there are no right or wrong recipes, simply those cookies which you like better than others. And by the way, my favorite is peanut butter, oatmeal, chocolate chip. For the cookies, the goal is to have ingredients that you like and a cookie that tastes delicious. Likewise, for self-care, the goal is to create your foundation for wellness and a benchmark. The reason that I call it a foundation is because you need a very strong base as a caregiver to play the long game. In order to stay strong amidst the daily challenges and not succumb to the chronic stress that we face, we all know how important this foundation for wellness is. The purpose is to look at the different areas of your life. The image provides examples of the different areas of wellness that you could consider when thinking about the best version of yourself. The most common are social, developing a sense of connection, belonging, and a well-developed support system. Spiritual, expanding your sense of purpose and meaning of life. Emotional, coping effectively with life and creating satisfying relationships. Physical, recognizing the need for physical activity and sleep. Learning, recognizing creative abilities and finding ways to expand knowledge and skills. Nutritional, recognizing the need for healthy food and a balanced diet. And financial, satisfaction with current and future financial situations. I'm not dictating how many should be included in your foundation for wellness. Simply write down what comes to mind. And at the end of every chapter of my book, I include self-care tips and action items and self-care activities to inspire. And you can see that I have a foundation for wellness with different buckets. But one thing I wanted to highlight is being aware of your inner dialogue. So as you're listening to me talk about the different aspects of self-care and saying you are the only one who can choose to start your self-care journey, to start with one activity. Do you feel resistance? Do you feel resentment toward me because I do practice self-care? But that's all part of the journey. Celebrate this awareness, because when we're aware of the inner dialogue, that's when we get to change it. And I will close with the 5 self-care activities in this chapter. Take a cat nap. Schedule respite so that you can have a day off. Use your vacation and personal days at work. Ask for help when you need it, and go for a massage. So I hope you found this insightful. I'll be reading from each chapter of the book in celebration of Self-Care Awareness Month. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel, and you'll find lots of self-care tips, life lessons, and experience so that you know you're not alone on this journey. Cheers.